window using the Blender Python API and then putting it on a website or a web page. Before we begin, a quick reminder, I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. Visit ojambo.com for details. Usually it's in the watch menu, live sub menu. You can see as this particular article. You're free to ask any questions about programming or lifestyle topics. And I have a link to the actual live stream right on the article as well. If you don't want to do that, you can simply watch the video. The video is also embedded in the article. It's a little bit further down. I'll scroll down when going through this written blog post. Okay, so we're going to do another simple beginner-friendly project. However, instead of just simply modeling a 3D model, I'm going to make it low poly. And I'm also going to make sure that it's animated. So we're going to have a wig. So again, the animation is also going to be low poly. If you don't know what low poly means that it has fewer, it's not as smooth. So normally for low poly, those are type of assets that are used in, for example, games. What they do is they just have textures. They put a layer of texture on top of it, so it look more realistic. So what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to do something more advanced. It's not hard, don't worry. So where I'm going to use an environmental texture, so we don't have to worry about lights and all of that. The environmental texture will take care of the lights. Okay, so simply, if you don't want to be a Python expert, you can simply just copy paste and run. So I do have the Python script here. You can just expand this and just copy it, paste it into any editor, a text editor, and then obviously now Blender and Python installed, and then you can simply just run it. I'll show you how to do that on my system. So I obviously have Blender and Python installed. You guys have seen several tutorials by me for Blender and Python. So this is cross-platform. You can use it on Mac and Linux, of course. You can also use it in Windows. You can use the PowerShell, I think that's what they call it, command prompt in Windows. So basically what you do is the path to your Blender executable, -b, that stands for background, run in the background. If you don't do that, it's going to open up the Blender UI, so that's going to be a little bit slow, especially if you're running something more intensive. Well, this is pretty simple, so it should be pretty fast in just a few seconds. Then -p, that's for the Python file, as you can see here. That's the name of the Python file, and that's it. We're done. So I also have now to display on the web. It's going to export as a GLB. GLB is the binary version of the GLTF. It's an open source or open standard. So it's perfect for the web. So the GLTF by default, it's a JSON file. But sometimes if you want to put the assets all together, a binary file is fine. So that's why I chose the GLB file. So again, it just use you can see whatever the name of the extension GLB, you put it into some HTML using the model-viewer tag. And you also need a module. I use the CDN. So you will see the source code. You can expand it if you're impatient and take a look at it. So I also have I'll show you all the attributes I use as well. So here you see you can also go into Blender and you open up the scripting workspace. You click new. I'll show you that as well. You paste the code in there. You click run, and you see it will generate the animation and obviously the model for you. And as you can see, depending on what type of lighting as well, this is what it look like. The one for the web, because I said the one for the web looks like this. That's because I said the environmental texture I'm using is the courtyard one. So the courtyard one has some light, a few shadowish area, and another one is off-white, so that's why it looks like this. If I was using, I think this is the forest, it will actually look like that. But I'm saying is, yeah, they're depending on the type of lighting you use. And this is the live stream to prove that this is live. Oop, I didn't realize it's going to do that. That's not what I wanted. Okay, that is super weird. I don't know why it did it. Okay, there we go. That was really weird. Okay, So I'm going to jump into the code right now and I'll show you everything. So as you can see, I have a workspace. Before I do that, I'm live streaming on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute. So I'm just going to check to make sure that the live stream is actually working for them. I know YouTube it's working. Okay, Odyssey, I don't know why Odyssey was always a little pain in the butt. So just refresh here. Okay, it looks like I have some viewers surprisingly on Rumble. Yep, so Rumble is live, good. Let's check out BitChute. I have to refresh. And I think this one is usually the delay in BitChute. Okay, there we go. BitChute is also working. And I don't know what is wrong with Odyssey. It's super weird. Just give me a second. Okay, I'll try Odyssey again. Same issue I had last few days. I don't know why it's like that. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I do not know literally what's wrong with Odyssey here. It's really a pain in the yeah. Odyssey is weird. Okay, I'm assuming it's recording on Odyssey. Okay, oh, it finally popped up here. Let's see, hit play button. Yeah, okay, it's working on Odyssey as well. Okay, so so it's all fine. There's somebody actually watching on Odyssey as well, and there are people watching on Rumble. Thank you for that. All right. So as I said, I do have a folder here, or a project folder. As you can see, I have the HTML file, I have the Python file, and I have this GLB file and Blender file. So and this is the Courtyard HDR image. So what I did is I took the default EXR image from Blender, and I just converted it using GIMP, which is another free open source bitmap editor. I converted to HDR. The reason I converted to HDR, as I've explained in the past, is that for high definition type of images like this, is that EXR, even though it's an standard open source and everything, is that I think it's only supported by 9% of the web browsers. I think from 2024. Not Courtyard. The HDR ones are supported by 60% or higher, so that's why I had to convert it to HDR. There's another format. I forgot what it is. Oh, I think it's a K something KTX. KTX. That's the one by the Chronoscope, the same people who make the GLTF and GLB, and that one was even supported even less. The good one about that with the KTX is that it's supposed to go right into your GPU. So that should be the fastest to load, but I said unfortunately it's minuscule support, not even 5%. So that's why. Okay, so I'm going to delete these two files here, this blend file and the GLB, because the Python file is going to recreate them. Okay, then I'm going to open up the GNOME text editor. Okay, here we go. Okay, the sun is shining, so hopefully I did that right. So this is HTML and this is the Python file. So I'm going to go through the Python file first. So I had to tweak my Python file because I was using the Flatpak version of Blender, and that one is a pain because it needs absolute paths. So the problem with that is because I'm so used to using relative paths, so I had to tweak it. So yesterday I decided to go back to the one in the Fedora repos because I remember that I used the FFmpeg from RPM Fusion, so it should have H.265, which it did. I did test it, so I don't need the Flatpak version. So the Flatpak version, I had to do a whole bunch of stuff. For example, you see here I had to get the script directory, I had to get the path and save it and all that. I won't need to do that going forward. It'll just be more, the files will be much more simpler. Okay, and here I just put some variables for the blend file and the export file. And as you can see here, these are some of the dimensions for the candle. The candle radius is set to 0.1, the height is set to 0.5, the wick radius 0.01, the wick height 0.05, the flame radius 0.03, flame height is set to 0.1, and it's low poly vertices. That means it's going to be 16. The flicker frames I set it to 30, light base energy 50, and the light flicker amplitude set to 15. Okay, and the first thing we do is we clear this the scene. So basically, there's a specific function I created for this, but basically what you do is you select everything and then you just say delete. That's it. It's pretty simple. And then we have one which creates the materials. So we just pass in, this time it's just going to be one material, really it's just the wax. So we pass in the color, just pass in the name. This one, I hard-coded the base color, 0.9, 0.85, 0.8, and 1. So if you're wondering why the numbers are like that, it's because Blender likes to use radians. That means that it's 0 to 1. So if you're converting it from RGB, if there's two types of RGB. There's a one that's up to 25, 0 to 25, meaning that 0, 0, 0 is black, and 25, 25, 25 is white. So if you divide by, 220, 55, you get the approximation here. And then there's another one which is less used. It's the one from up to 128. So again, just be aware of that for that. And the roughness value is set to 0.5. And after that, we do a subsurface. We try to, if a subsurface weight, if it exists, we set to 0.5. And then the radius, if it does exist, we set to 0.8, 0.1, and 0.05. After that, we have another one to create the wick material. This one, the base color is set to 0.05, 0.03, 0.02, and 1, and the roughness is set to 0. And then after that, we are going to create the flame material. So the flame material, the color is set to 1.0, 0.4, 0.05. If you're wondering what the last value is, that's obviously RGBA. The 1 means it's going to be fully opaque. So the base color is, I just explained that. The emission color, we set to the flame color as well. And then the emission strength, we set to 10.0. And then we apply the materials to the object as a specific method for that, or function. And then here we have the agile function that creates everything. You see, first it calls the clear scene method. And after that, we create the wax material, the wick material, the flame material. Then we start actually modeling our candle. So the body, we use the height, as you can see here. We use the perimeter, we use cylinder. Simple, very, very simple. We just give it a name, candle. We apply the material, the wax material. Then after that, we model the wick. We use the candle height plus the wick height divided by 2. And as you can see here, this time we also use a cylinder. And we pass in the vertices, it's called low poly vertices, the wick radius, the wick height, and then the location. Then we rename it wick and apply the wick material to it. Finally, we create the flame. The flame, this time we use a cone. And then we pass in the low poly vertices, the radius, the depth, and we set the location. And we give it a name of flame. And after that, we're going to do some keyframing. This will be for the animation. Thank you very much, Mocha Lux. Mocha Lux loves my work. Thank you very much. And what we do here is we just set keyframes. So you guys have seen this. I've done, I think, 2 or 3 tutorials on this. So again, you just insert, scale. We're doing a scale one, so it's going to basically, expand, go down, just like a candle would inside a house, or just a blowing candle, just to mimic it. Remember, this is all low poly. You can make it advanced as you want. For example, I did a tutorial where I did like the box on fire, so you can do something like that, but this one is a very simple one to get you started, more beginner friendly and not complex. So we scale in the Y again. You see, we just make it bigger. It's at 1, then 1.2, and that's at frame number 10, and then we make it 0.9, so it gets smaller, and that's at frame, that was at frame 10, and then from 20 it goes back to 1. So it's basically going to expand a little bit and then shrink back to normal, then even lower. That's all it does, just continuously. So as you can see, then we use the cycles renderer, and we add the F curve for that, and then we have a light. So the light is important because it's not, we don't want simply a light reflecting off the candle. That would have been fine, but I'm saying this is the actual wick. So we need to give it a flame. So that's why we add a light, and you see the type of the light we added is a point, and that's its location, and the name is flame underscore light, and you can see we give it a color of 1.0, 0.6, 0.5. It's a warm color. So after that we create some noise to give it a little flickering effect. So you can see all that here, again using the variables we created earlier, and then we'll give it an energy for the light, and I'll give it a noise variable as well, and you can see the light energy set to the energy underscore value, and then we do our keyframes, so insert it for the energy as well. After that, what we do, we also give it cycles. We use the cycles engine here, as you can see. So render engine is set to cycles. Okay, and then we set the frame end. That means for the entire project, we add the last one, the total number of frames. If the flicker frames, how many do we have here? Let's go check it out. It was set to 30, so this is going to be 30 frames. So if this FPS is 30, so that will be about a second. Then after that, where were we here? Oh yeah, so the Blender save path, and then the output save path, and then after that we just save the Blender file here. Then we select everything here to get ready for the export to GLB. So you can see when we export it, it says GLTF, because as I said, GLB is just the binary version. And you see the export format, we said GLB, export apply true, export YUP, set to true, export animation. This is very important. If you don't do this, it will not work. And use selection, set to true. And that's it. That's our code. Then for the HTML, I'm going to zoom in here. Same thing, there's the HTML tag, and then I put this viewport meta in the head section, simply so that if somebody's on a small device, like for example a phone, it will scale properly, so they don't have to like zoom in as well. And this is the module I was talking about. You see I'm using a CDN, I'm using unpack.com. It's by Google, not unpack.com, I'm talking about the actual model. It was by Google, and it's model-viewer minified version. Okay, then here the most important part, the styling doesn't matter, you can style the way you want, so I'm just going to skip that step. And here is, I just have an h1 tag, and h1 tag just says low poly animated candle model. And then the model viewer, you see the source, that's going to be our GLB file. This is just a note attribute, I just call it low poly animated candle. And then I auto rotate, so it will rotate by itself, you don't have to do it yourself. Camera controls, AR, shadow intensity I set it to 1, and you see environmental image, so this will give us the lighting. And you see you have to type animation name, just make up a name, usually it's animation by default, and you have to put autoplay. If you don't put autoplay, it will not work. So make sure you add autoplay. Autoplay will then automatically play your animation in a loop. So that's it there. And then, so what I can do is, I forgot to save that. Drop back to the terminal, and all you have to type is Blender, and then the name of Blender-P. Blender space -P. The P is capitalized. And then the name of your Python file. So in my case is low-poly-animated-candle.py. So you press enter. Okay, Yoke is telling the axis for the up direction. Here it is. Here it is Y for the up. Oh yeah. So oops, what happened? Oh, you see, I made the mistake myself. You see that? I forgot to You see, I forgot to put -b, and you see it opened up Blender. So it actually ran it in Blender. Well, that's perfectly fine since it ran it in Blender. It's okay. So yeah. So let me make this smaller here. So make sure you put -b runs in the background, so it doesn't have to run in Blender. But it's pretty fast, so it doesn't make a difference. So here's what it looks like. As you can see here, the candle has been modeled. You can see this little, I guess, grooves. So you can know it's low poly, and this will kind of look a little bit sharp again because it's low poly. So in order to see better, you can change it to the viewport shading. There's that one, and then there's another viewport, this one here, and you can see a little bit better, but this one has no light. The only light is obviously just for the wick here. So what you can do instead is if you go to the shading workspace, and then you can zoom in. If you touch it, shows up. See, there you go. You see that's the forest. That's the default HDR image. They use the forest. So I'm going to zoom in here, and there we go. So that's what it looks like. And again, you can also go to you can change it to that. The viewport shading, you can change which one you want there. That's all up to you. Okay, and as I said before, you can go to the scripting tab here. You just click new, and then you paste it here, and then after that you can run the button. It will generate the model for you, including the animation. So if we go back to the layout, I'll show you the animation. Where is, oh, up here. Where is this? Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. I have to scroll the other way. Layout. So you see, this is what it looks like here. So if I play the animation, you can press spacebar, or you can see, go down here and just press the play button. You can see what's happening there. So you might hear your fan going with the CPU being used. That's because it's using cycles. Now, I can't use CUDA. So let me show you here. If we go to, what is it? Under Edit, come on, Edit, we go to Preferences. You see here it says Cycles, Renders, Devices. There's none. There's CUDA. Obviously I don't have an NVIDIA GPU. I have an AMD GPU. And then there's HIP. So HIP requires an AMD GPU with RDNA. So mine doesn't have RDNA, so I cannot use it. But I have two GPUs, but I have the integrated graphic because mine is a Ryzen 5 5600 GT, and I have an AMD Instinct MI60. So both of them are, I think, the Vega series, so it won't work here. So that's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason it will not work. You can see it says Vega 20, so that will not work. So there we go. I'm gonna close this now. The Blender part is done, so I don't need to. So I'm gonna zoom out of here, and you can see the version I'm using, Blender 4.5. Blender 4.5. So yeah, what I should have done, I'm gonna delete this again, and I'll show you what I should have done before. What I should have done is I forgot to put -b. If you put -b to run in the background like that, you see, and then it will regenerate them without opening up Blender. So that's the reason why you run it in the background. It's just a little bit faster, and especially if you have lower resources. So you can see it's Blender 4.5.3 LTS version. Yeah. So as I said before, I prefer the distro one, not the flat pack, because I do a lot of command line stuff. So I like to use relative paths. Like you see, I put everything in the same path, and I wanted to save it in the same folder that the Python is. So remember, we're not going to use the forest HDR. We're going to use the courtyard HDR. So by default, if you go back here, it comes as an X with C for courtyard. Should still be here. Oh, I didn't delete it. Code. Yeah, here we go. So this is what it looks like. This is the courtyard. I don't know if to open up here. Okay, so I need to open up in GIMP. So let me open up in GIMP, and I'll show you what the actual courtyard looks like. That's the image I just converted to HDR image using GIMP. Okay, so you can see here, this is what it looks like. You see there's a dog there, there's shadows, there's obviously very bright lights here. So and then there's a shadow and a dark space here. So that's what it's picking up. That's what I'm using for lights, or for lighting up the model or the environment. So that's it. Now all you need to do is open up your. You can use any. You can use any server you want. You can be Nginx, Apache, Light, PTD, anything you want. So I'm just going to use the built-in Python one, especially since I'm just localhost. So what can I spell it? Python, and then -m space http.server, and I just put 8080. Okay, so you see it opens up at 00000, which is what I want, and 8080. So this allows me to use it obviously on the local machine where I am. I can use it on any other device that's connected to the network by getting the IP address of this workstation. I've shown you how to get the IP address of this of your workstation. You can get it from your router. You can type ipconfig if you're on Windows. If you're on Linux and Mac OS, you type ifconfig, ifconfig, and I said replace the if with IP for if you're on Windows. It'll give you your. I'll show you one more time here. I type ifconfig, I'm on Linux, and you see here. So it tells me this is my IP address, local IP address. Cool. All right. So now let me open up the Chromium browser. Oh, I'm already opening up the Chromium browser, and let's see here. I'll bring it here. So I said you can use localhost 8080 slash. I have to grab the name. What was the name of animated candle? So this is what I want. Let's copy it. Candle.html. So as you can see, my hands are here. It's going to be rotating by itself because remember we set it to auto rotate. You see my hands are here, so it's auto rotating by itself. And you can see if you look closely, you can actually see the dog. Remember that when I showed you that the EXER image of the dog there? If you actually look closely, you can actually see the dog. So as you can see, you can rotate it. So it's very low poly. If you understand what low poly means, you can see this very sharp. So that's how you know it's not perfectly round. So that's another reason. That's another way you can tell. So the reason why it's all these colors is because it's picking up from the image. So it's a candle. That's usually what a candle, at least the old school candles used to look like. So that's more realistic. And then the wick here, you can see it's expanding slowly. Now I said the reason you don't see the flame effect is because I'm guessing the lights at the end they get exported or something, or maybe the environmental image is taking up too much space. I should probably get rid of the environmental image. I think that would make it black or give it a weird color, so I'll just leave it for now. So that's it. That's the entire tutorial. See, nice and simple. Okay. So let's finish this up. If you're ready to learn more, if you enjoyed automating this 3D creation, you might be interested in taking your Python and Blender Python API skills to the next level. I've written books to help you on your journey. I have the Learning Python book. It's available on Amazon, and the link is also in the description. I have the Mastering Blender Python API, and the link is also in the description. Both of them are available on Amazon. And if you want to enroll in a structured course, I have Learning Python, a course on ojamboshop.com. And if you need personalized in-depth help, I'm available for one-on-one Python tutorials, including specialized sessions on the Blender Python API. You can reach out to me at ojambo.com/contact. Happy coding and animating. Want other 3D objects What other 3D objects are you going to automate next? Let me know in the comments. Okay, with that said, I also, quick reminder that I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. What you do is you go to django.com, you go to the watch menu, live stream, you can see the topics for this. It also shows you the channel and the date and time and future topics. So this is basically what that is what we're doing tomorrow. And the time I said is 2 p.m. Eastern. Also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. It helps the channel, it helps the channel grow, and it brings so example, some of the for example, like tomorrow's tutorial was actually requested by one of the viewers, so I'm always very responsive as well, because I want to make content. What motivates me to make this type of content is when I was learning, I had to learn the hard way. So but I wish or there was a resource I could go and could ask questions and somebody could make something out be really nice when I was learning. So that's what I'm doing. I also want people to improve. Like for example, I visited websites. One of my very recently, one of my popular videos, the short version, is the one where I showed some sites. I didn't badmouth any of the sites, but clearly it touched a nerve because that got a lot of views. So what I'm saying is that's my point. I want people to improve. I don't want to make fun of them. So even today, somebody asked why I was wasting time on different text editors, and I said because the text editors, they do something different. It might be a quirk. It might be useful. I find some of that stuff useful. So imagine if there was a text editor that took everything I liked and implemented or allowed me to implement it myself. So that's what I'm saying. It's just to improve. It's not. I'm just here to make fun of people. I want things to improve, people to improve. That's it. Just like me. I'm still learning and I'm improving myself. All right. I also have some other resources, recommended resources. As you guys know, I'm in a rural area where the internet and the cellular service is not good. It's sporadic. Let's say that. So I use SpaceX, Starlink, the residential service, and I use it even right now. Remember, I'm doing live stream on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey, and it's working extremely well. And I also use it on my phone for Wi-Fi. I turn on Wi-Fi calling, which allows me to send and receive calls, text messages, including MMS. So I don't have to pay roaming fees or charges or that as well. So it's working fantastic. And I'm in Southern Ontario in Canada, and this past winter it was very, very, it was one of the harshest winters I think we've had in about 20 years. The snow was right up above my knee. I'm 6'2", you can imagine. I still have to go out to clear it 3 times a day and look after the chickens. And my neighbor's grandson, he was coming over every day too, and he would clear the driveway. This is what will happen. I'll get up in the morning, clear the driveway, look after the chickens. Then I go to have breakfast, and I hear somebody in my driveway. I'm like, what is going on? Then I see him clearing. I'm like, it looked like I did nothing. So he finishes, I thank him, and then in the afternoon I go check on the chickens. Like I did nothing and he did nothing, and he had a tractor do that. So you can imagine. And I said, the Starlink was just perfect. I leave mine on the ground because it stays cooler, especially in summer. And it didn't freeze or anything like that. There was a lot of snow last year. And and I also turned off that feature called snow melt feature. I forgot to turn it back on for winter. I was trying to save some electricity on the electricity cost, but it didn't make a difference. It didn't freeze or anything. It just kept on working. I just have it on a skid and just kept on working. Perfect. All right. One more thing. Sorry about that. I forgot about this. I'm also promoting this month. My novelette. It's called The Algorithmic Servant. It's about a scientist. You see, that's my name there, Edward Ojambo. It's not about me, but it's about a scientist who creates an AI system, and he loses his mind, so he has to regain control of not just his mind, but also the system. So this is the paperback version. There's also an ebook version. As you can see, this is a real, you see that? It's a real paperback. The ebook version is free if you have Kindle Unlimited. So as I've said several times, I made this as affordable as possible. It's basically at cost, so you can get it. Let me know. As I said, I want to improve myself. I like writing, not just programming books, but I like writing in general. So let me know, good or bad, because I want to improve. if everything is good, I would think I'm perfect, right? But I'm saying I want to improve myself. So let me know, guys. Thanks for that. So in the live chat, Mokalux says, yup, is telling the access for the up direction, and here it is, y thus up. Okay, I don't know what that means. And then says thank you also for joining the live chat and also joining my live stream. So I'm checking on Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. I don't see any chat requests there. So I'm going to end this, and I implore you to do subscribe, because it really helps out the channel. And with that, I'll leave you. I will probably do another night stream tonight. I will do something probably related to Blender or FFmpeg. I'm not sure yet, but check it out. It'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That's it. I'll leave you now. Bye now, and have a great day.